Stream starting. And we are live, I think. It says so on my laptop, so we must be. Welcome to Tuesday Night Edits. I'm Andy Gray, Northumberland-based landscape photographer in the alternate creative mode. And this is my weekly live stream. This is episode number 10. We've been here 10 weeks already. Yes, I do count that first week as an episode. I did decide to publish it, even though it was pretty horrendous, but we're back again. So yeah, 10 episodes now. So that's a good, I think that's probably about 13 or 14 hours of content of you guys watching me edit or prattle on, depending on which way you're looking at it. Just move that across. Just to make sure things is still working and still green. We did have a few issues last week. Not sure why things went a bit haywire, but partway through the stream I was getting all kinds of errors. But when I watched the recording back, there was no problems whatsoever. So if it goes wrong again this week, I'll just plough on. I'll try not to get too thrown and then look very, very awkward for 10 minutes. So as per usual, the plan for tonight is to have a look at a few images that I was going to say I've shot recently, but they are kind of in my archive, and they're images that I need to catch up on, really. I did publish a vlog today, which I recorded 6 weeks ago, so that's how far behind I am with videos and editing. So I've got basically the images for my next vlog to edit, because I haven't touched anything yet. So I've got all them to go through, so I thought I might as well make a start tonight and go through some of them. So that's to come up. For anybody watching live or watching the recording, for the next 24 hours, so until 7:30 on the 27th of June, if you leave a comment underneath the video, you will be entered into a competition to win a print. I tested out some. I recently got my custom profile sorted from PhotoSpeed. Very the usual tremendous service they have with those. I got those through, and I did a test print on my favourite image I've taken this year, which was of Dodo Stone Circle, and that test print I'm gonna bung in the post to whoever I draw out of the comments. So if you leave a comment under the video, you'll be entered into. Comments will be open for 24 hours. I'll just grab this print so I can show you. So it's a full A3 image, and it is that. It is just an artist proof print. It's not a full-on proper limited edition, but it will be signed, but it'll not be a numbered edition. There is a slight mark on the front, so it's not perfect either. But yeah, it's available to win free of charge for anybody that wants to enter that, have a chance of winning that. That is, I haven't really named it yet, but it's of Dodo Stone Circle, and it is printed on PhotoSpeed natural soft texture bright white 315. So it's a good heavy duty paper. It's matte, so it's very nice actually. I've got out of the habit of using matte papers, purely because of the cost of changing the inks, the blacks on my printer. It's pretty horrendous. So I usually have a run of printing glossy and a run of printing matte. So I'm in a matte phase at the minute. So so yeah, that's up for availability. If you would like to have a chance of winning that, then please do leave a comment below. What else have we got? The chat is open. The chat room's open. I'll try to keep an eye on that. So anybody watching live can chat away in there. I'll try to answer any questions that I see. So it's all just about having a good crack with each other. What else? This week, I know I've been on about it probably since week 2 or week 3 about Patreon and the page I've set up. That page is now complete. Finally. It's only taken us about 8 weeks. Hello, David. You're still in Norway. Bloody hell, lad. Get your ass back here. It's lovely weather. Nice and warm. Well, apart from the sea fret, you wouldn't have seen a damn thing this morning. So yeah, lost train of thought with chatting again. Patreon. I finally launched my page. There's a load of tiered rewards on it. So anything from a couple of dollars, and it gets you access to my Patreon stream, which I'm putting behind the scenes stuff on. Stuff that that's not on Twitter or anywhere else. So I got exclusive behind the scenes content. There's real times I can get it on there as well, and that several tiers going up through the value. And one of the tiers does include my Analog Effects Pro 2 presets, which I use on pretty much every image there is that I use. So that should, if they interest anybody, then that they are available if you subscribe to Patreon or contribute or be a patron through Patreon. It's all very confusing, but yeah, check that page out. Links down below, and any contribution you can make, greatly appreciated, and will hopefully help make these live streams better and my images better. David's on his way back by the sounds of it. Safe journey back anyway, David, tomorrow, if you're coming back tomorrow. So hopefully the sunshine will still be here for when you're back. Like I've already mentioned, I put a vlog out this morning or lunchtime, and it covers my terrible efforts to use a tripod again after not really using one for a good while. As you know, I'm mainly using intentional camera movement, so I have no call for a tripod, and therefore it's quite a struggle for me to slow down enough to try to compose an image and all, and spot an image that would work where it has to be sharp. So that was quite a novel experience. But yeah, so that's online today, and an extra incentive to go on it, I fell over on it as well. So if you want to laugh after this live stream, not get through the end of it, then you can go and watch it. Do check that out. So yeah, do give you a thumbs up and your comments on that as well, which would be lovely. All support is great, but you need to comment on this post, on this video, to be in a chance of winning of the print. What else have I got on my list? I have some new lighting coming, hopefully tomorrow, depending on how crap the delivery guys are. I realise that maybe it's not so bad today, but my main light is behind me, got the window light over there, so light just pings straight off the top of my buns. So I've got some more lighting ordered, which will be over here somewhere and lighting me up, so therefore I should be, basically these should look a little bit better. It does make a nice walking stick there with a tripod. It actually probably stopped me falling down worse. But yeah, it's thing is I could carry a lighter walking stick. That's the only thing. So if I was using a tripod as a walking stick, it's pretty bloody heavy. So got some lights on order. They're coming hopefully tomorrow. So hopefully next week this live stream will look better. And I've also got a few plans for a few more, videos where it's more of a sit down and talk rather than being outside and taking pictures. So they'll look better as well. It'll make me want to actually film them, because at the minute I really just don't want to, because I haven't got the setup all right. So hopefully they were dirt cheap, so they might be complete garbage, but you never know. They'll do the job, I'm sure, for a little while. The other thing was I'm very much on the borderline of buying a new camera. I just need tipped one way or the other. What I could do with some money in, and then I'll definitely be tipped one way or the other. So I've been looking at basically a camera that I can vlog with better. Because at the minute I'm just using a little cheap Chinese action cam, and then with a sound recorder. So I'm looking for a better camera to do video with, and I'm looking at the Canon M50, which seems to be looking rather well supported by people out there, quite popular. And initially I wasn't very keen because it's 100 quid more than the 200D, but the 200D is not available on 0% finance at the site I was looking at. And also it's slightly older tech. The M50 is mirrorless, obviously. So there's less lenses, which is a bit of a problem. Well, not really a problem, because I'll probably only use one lens anyway. But yeah, I'm just looking to make like a better camera so I can make better, more cinematic videos. Because one thing I'm struggling with is B-roll when I'm using the action cam, because it's such a wide view. You can't zero in on anything. So it's not very good, really, for that. But we've all got to start with something. Got to start somewhere. So that's all good. So I haven't been tipped one way or the other, but yeah. And obviously everybody, a lot of people out there will know that I am a Nikon shooter. And yes, I am thinking about buying a Canon. So look, hammers knock in nails, cameras take pictures. That doesn't matter. Hammer, it doesn't matter if it's a Stanley hammer or a cheap hammer. Hammers knock in nails, cameras take pictures. So I'm not really too fussed about what name's on the outside of it. So yeah, I think that's enough of me fanning around yakking too long. So I think we shall crack on with some editing. And we'll bung that up on screen. And these are all poppy images today. I was down, I know a few weeks ago we edited poppy images. Well, these are the images I took a couple of weeks later when I'd gone back, where more poppies were out. So I am looking to see if I can create this year's poppy image. So like I said in the previous live stream, I go back every year to make a new version, and then it's a good guide on how my images are progressing or developing over time. So David, been looking at M50 as a vlogging upgrade from my phone as well. Yeah, I'm looking at it, David. It's really, when it comes down to doing it, it's just finances to me. Nearly 700 quid for for a new camera, because by the time I've had to buy an external mic, not an external mic, yes, an external mic, a mic to go on the top of it, and something to hold it with, so like a Goby, whatever you call them. What do you call them? Tripody things. But that's another 50 quid on top of that. So I've got to be pretty careful on the finances side of things at the minute. So I'm not jumping in straight away, but it's one of the ones I'm looking at. So yeah, be interested if you beat me to it, David. Be interested to see what your thoughts are if you do go and purchase one. Do seem to be very popular. So anyways, back to these. So yeah, I'm looking for this year's Bamburgh poppies shot. I've already been through these to pick out various candidates like I normally do. I did do this about 3 weeks ago, so I've got to remind myself on what I've actually picked out. And I'm looking through some of these and wondering why the hell I picked them out, to be honest. But I did think when I was taking these, that it would be very much almost a full frame of red Gorilla Pod made by Joby. Is it Joby? Yeah, man, can't remember. Yeah, but it's definitely one of them, dude. I think we're looking about 35 quid, 40 quid. But I see the microphone that I was looking at was like it's not a Rode mic, it's Telstar, something like that. It's like a cheap version, but it's like better than for 20. I think it was like something like 25, 29 quid. It's better. It's better than the Rode 300 quid one, something like that. I was like, well, no point spending that much. So, right, back to image editing. I think these first few, because there's a bit of definition in these, I'm just going to reset this one, because I used it to create today's thumbnail. So these initial ones, so we've got a couple of layers we can use with poppies on the left. You see there, and then there's a big block of colour on the right. There's very much going to be big blocks of colour, obviously big blocks of red. So we're gonna use a good whack of these initial 8. What I'm gonna do is probably scale the red back a bit, because with my usual techniques, doubling everything up, it'll become very, very, the whole lot will end up being a particular red. So I'm going to scale that back, because my processors just make things even redder. I'm just going to I'm going to warm that up using the color temperature. Just slip that down to landscape just to see if that just darkens the top a little bit. Vibrance, maybe just bring that down. Yeah, that's getting rid of the green, you see, which is good. I don't want to take too much of that. Just lighten that up a bit. Detail. And get rid of the ISO noise. Not affect lens corrections. Get rid of the vignetting. I'm actually going to bring the highlights down. Try to kill some of that. That at the top. Yeah. I don't think there's any, because I shot it with such a wide aperture. There shouldn't be any dust spots. No, should be clear. Evening, Alan. Good of you to turn up. Hope you enjoyed your holiday. I've seen a couple of, well, certainly saw one epic shot that you put up the other day. Looks stunning. And I hope you realise that you're in my latest video as well. Just in the corner of shot. Not touch that contrast because it's going to send things mad. So we'll sync all them together. Stream seems to be behaving itself this week. So I'll sync them together. One thing I didn't do before I started was load Photoshop. So excuse me while we wait an age for this to turn up, to load up. Sure, I'm gonna just jump on a Twitter here for a second, and I'm gonna put a tweet out because I never put one on earlier on. Copy. And talk amongst yourselves for a second while I do this. Sweet. Let's take that out. See if anybody turns up. Chat window back up. Well, seeing as you volunteered to never go on camera, Alan, you're getting nout. I have to be very subtle and fall on my backside to even catch you in frame. So, right, and now I'm gonna load these into Photoshop. If I can remember how to do it. Edit in, open layers in. No Wi-Fi in sea houses, Alan. Heard it's the back of beyond. Excuse me. So did you fill plenty of cards when you were over in the Dolomites then, Alan? Bring back lots and lots and lots of data to play with? Or was it just too much family time? I think I might have made the mistake loading up all 8 images here. Might take a while. It might ruin the stream as well. Dirty. Just scrolling through the various blend modes, see what effects they have. I think I'm definitely going to have to jettison some layers here. Maybe just go with the darken blend mode. So that's quite a nice smudgy, painty type of feel. So we'll scale some of these back. So, you know what? I'm saying in darken, but I think we might. Multiplies a no go. Lighten may well be a decent option. It's just all about positioning. A 64 gig card filled. So on the Sony, that's about what, 64 images? Yeah, drop that bottom layer because of the angle of the horizon. Bring in some extra layers. This is the kind of one you can actually move up so it doesn't interfere too much. Switch that one off for the time being. That one's too much angle. Oh, that's getting a lot more red in there, which is good. And there's almost a little bit of definition there as well. But I am actually going to reduce the opacity of that one, because I didn't want them flower heads to be too apparent, because it'll ruin all the red. And I'm going to mask off this bottom edge, get rid of that edge. There we are, get rid of that. And what hopefully, when we get into analog effects, I'll be able to basically obliterate that light area. If you're back for 4 weeks, David, I think we're going to have to have a big meet-up sometime. But you'll have to learn to shoot a sunset, not these sunrises that are far too early. But yeah, we should get out and shoot sometime. I'm going to drop this one up here and give that a multiply layer just to see if that's going to be too much. Abort that plan for the time being anyway. Just hide that one down the bottom. Where we don't want them. I'm just going to drop in a curves layer on the top of this just to darken it up a bit, lighten it a touch just to get some edges. You're desperate to get up to there, Alan, aren't you? You just want to see me freak out on the north side of the border, leaving the country. And I don't want to reduce that. I just want a bit more contrast. I think in red, if I can reduce that a touch. I don't want it too red. I want it a bit more of an orange, an orangey red rather than a. I don't think we're gonna get it. With these colours. You've really got to get used to, well, is it colour science? I don't know about that. I don't know if it's an actual science, but you've got to learn how your curves affect each colour and how far you can push colour before you start getting horrible lines and, you know, where the colour starts staggering. I was going to say, if we go soon, the weather doesn't seem to be a problem at the minute. It's I think it's set fair for the next fortnight, according to the weather. So it's just whether how much cloud sticks around. Right, I think we're ready to throw this into Analog Effects Pro. Already looking at me presets. You can see that one's got a big flash of red. Oh, there's some lovely reds here. Just begging me to be using them. Oh yes, I think there's a few options amongst these. It's just a case of choosing one. I think we haven't got a problem with red. I think it's more of a case of how the lighter horizon works. End of next week? It could be snowing by the end of next week, Alan. But yeah, be a good plan. Get away up there and take some images up there. Do a bit of vlogging, and if David's come as well, you'll have vlogging everywhere, and you'll not be able to hide, Alan. Bloody slow computer. Now, this is one of the usual case of it looks great on the little preview on the side, but when you blow it up into the full screen, it's not quite so good. So I think we'll try the next one down as an option. Wait another age for it to load. It's all very blurry. Why is it looking blurry? Knock that blur off. So I think using this, see it's all how it's affecting. The greens and the reds are affecting this horizon area. I think we're going to have to move it around a bit. Just to try and nullify some of them areas. So one, I don't want it too green, and I don't want it too red. This area up here. The only thing is I've got to wait for the bloody computer to catch up. Oops. I'm just trying to fill in some of these darker areas. And I'll do some colour correction for the top and knock off the lens vignette. If I can hit the bloody thing right. I think we need a bit. There's a bit, but it doesn't need to be so strong. I think it needs to be positioned down here. I'm just really trying to control some of the sky. Bring that down at 11ish. Use the levels to. It's already got quite a bit there. Just trying to flatten out the sky, but not too much. Just deaden it a touch. Luminosity, bring that down as well. Just a wee bit. Flatten that sky out a little bit more. Just try some different exposure balances. I think adding it more on the overlay, more to the positive side, is going to be a better result for this one. Just check that film type's fine. Increase the fadedness. It's turning quite green, that actually. Trying to get rid of this green up here, make it warmer. Maneuver this a touch more. Bring that across. Just wanted to try to obliterate all these blacker areas. Turn that, hopefully it'll spin. Right, that's better. A bit more filled in with red there, and I think I'll do a little bit of colour alteration in Viveza. Just to sort out that green and the kind of yellow and warm it up a bit. I'll get it away from green. I think I just happened to look on Flickr for the first time in about a year yesterday, David, and I saw a shot from you. Was it an image of Norway, obviously, probably? Bit mountain under the cloud or something, if I remember it rightly. Looked very nice. Go straight into the Viveza with this. That's just up here. I'd like to get it more of an orange and a yellowy orange rather than this green and then this pink. So we'll see what we can do up here. Just use a viewpoint thing to start with. Need to go that side. No, that side's going to go and blue up. With this, you need small increments. Probably about there. Warm it up. Maybe not that much. Reduce the blue so it makes it yellow. Maybe not that much. And then we'll just copy this viewpoint across. And all the way across the top. That should pretty much have affected the entire top of the see how it's just warmed that sky up. Makes it a bit nicer, a bit more, I was going to say a bit more uniform. I don't want it to be uniform as such, just want it to be warmer. Let's get rid of them greens. Because I really don't like the magenta cartridge in my printer, obviously. Lost connection? I don't think so. Everything seems to be fine here, Alan. Got green here. I've got no issues with stream health. Maybe something to do with YouTube again, like last week. So it did go a bit wrong. So I think we're good on that one. I'm still not convinced. I'm not convinced I'm going to get my 2018 poppy image from this data this particular night. I think my image is going to be it's probably well I think it's going to be from the one we edited a couple of weeks ago. Is going to be my image for this year of the poppies. There's plenty of other ways I can go with the rest of the data I've got from here. If I look at my poppy shot from 2 years ago, I think it was 2 years ago, it's it's a very much a painterly, very bright and very I would call it maybe an optimistic kind of image. Lots of green, a couple of big poppies right in your face. Big contrast between the green and the red. It looked like it had been painted. Big splodge of red, or a couple of big splodges of red. So I think some of the other data is a bit sharper, so make it something from something like that. Maybe use one of these, maybe use this one from this side, and then balances up with the reds. I would say they're past their best, David. I was passed on Sunday. What day did they Tuesday? Yeah, Sunday. And there's a handful left. Yeah, I would say everything that's flowering has flowered, so it's really just whatever's left hanging that hasn't quite curled up and died yet. If you're looking for clarity and freshness, I think you've missed out at Bamburgh. Now, I'm tempted to do something with this one. It's very, there's no horizon to deal with. And if I can just find a complementary capture, maybe just mix it in with this one, and just see how it goes. What I really need is a hell of a lot more time to process these properly. I'm just struggling to find the time this year. I don't know why either. It's not like I'm busier. Ooh, lost. Right, just gonna warm this up a bit. Auto was probably not a good idea. There we go. Contrast. Knock the highlights back a bit, or a lot. Maybe a bit too much on the vividness. I'm going to go quite dark, so reduce them a bit. Too much of an edge. Detail. Just need to kill the ISO noise. I think we're not that far. One thing we've got though is there's a big dirty line there, which isn't going to help anybody. So we might have to rethink some of these sliders. That one seems to be fine. Where's that problem coming from? Maybe it's just a colour. They've gone back to as shot, and that line is still there, but it's, instead of it being over here, it is now curved all the way in there. So it must, I think it's probably just the camera struggled because it's such a vivid red to that shade of green. There's no the camera's can't handle the change in colour. So we might just have to make do. Blast that up a bit. Too much. Yeah. Sync it with that one. Oops. So just a 2-layer image of this one. Don't want to overload the computer again too much by using 8 layers. Craziness. And with 2 layers I'll have a bit more. It's not just a case of using lighten or darken. I can maybe use overlay and soft light because we're not, and multiply as well, because we're not going to be doubling up data too much. God, you can really see that line. These colours really have pushed either the camera hard or Lightroom hard. But hey ho. Watch of red again for lighting. Hopefully gonna get something nice out of overlay. Not particularly. Soft light maybe. Soft light's a little bit. It ain't quite as dark and as in your face. So I think I might get away with that more. I'm gonna reduce the opacity of this one because I really wanted to make more of these 3 poppies. Whereas this one's obviously making it's a lot more in your face. I'm using this another few percentage. Yeah. I think I'll do. Blue, reduce the blue. Yeah, about there. RGB curve. I probably want to come down. Not that much though. Darken it a little bit. Yeah, I think that's as good as we're going to get. So bung that into analog effects. Again, let's just have a look through the presets. This one's looking quite attractive. I can just alter the colour. That one's not too bad because it's got, I know I was aiming for a lot of red, but it's got quite a bit of green in there, which looks quite attractive. So I think then we've got that one that looks cracking. Let's just have a look at this one just to see how it looks on the full screen. Even that darker one there is looking. This one's going to end up. It just looks too blurry. Doesn't look so much either. God, these little thumbnails are duping me tonight. Come on, I'll load up. look at these two as well, just to see how they turn out. And look at this one. Quite like this. I was going to say this line. If I was to make this one, I'm sure it would be a pain to print. Why not get that far if it doesn't hurry up? See, it's just a lot of too much blur, very blurry up here. I do like that change from the the red to the black. Maybe if I could control that line so it comes in, pointing at the bleeding screen. If I can make that dark line come in across the bottom here, then you've got that would balance with the lighter horizon up there, and then you have the dark area that So let's have a play with this. So do some rotation. Wait 60 seconds in between each bloody movement. The lens vignette, that might help as well. Or it might hinder. Just that. Adjust that up to there. That might actually give us that line across there now. Not quite. There we go, we're getting our line now. Oh crap, I'm gonna sneeze, excuse me. No, it's gonna wait. Oh, just gone too far there. Pull this over a touch, down a bit. This is quite awkward working with such a slow machine. Just realised the blur's on. Get on better without that on. Yeah, that's better. So what I'm trying to do is there's obviously this top layer, there's the edge of a poppy just around there, and I'm just trying to get it to intersect with the darker area of the horizon, just part way up that lump. So there's a bit of a dark spot here. I thought it looked quite nice. There's not that much there. Down a bit. Yeah. Reduce the strength of that a touch. without that, I'm liking the orange along there more than you take the film type off. Then it just becomes a bright red and a bright pink. And to be honest, there's a line, you're starting to see a line across there. You want to avoid that kind of effect. You might, if looking at it closely, there might now be a line between the orange and the red along there. That might just because the initial data is it's only a 12 megapixel camera, so that might be one of the issues with it. Just going to check that's not. I'm wanting black. I'm wanting proper black down in these bottom areas. I'm just going to have to lighten that a touch, not too much though. Even though I don't think I ever will, I am preparing this with a view that I might print it. That's why I'm slightly concerned about these darker areas, because they will be very much a pain to print. I'll take that back up a touch. There. So now I've got that blob coming through, almost pointing up into the corner here. You got a line there and a line up to there in a roundabout way. Okay, that I'm quite happy with that as it is. Depends how what it looks like when it gets transferred over. It may have a huge colour problem. I'm hoping it doesn't. That's one of the things you've got to be careful about. Sometimes it does change, the colours change from what you're seeing in Analog Effects Pro, and then it goes back into Photoshop, and it's like that. They're not the colours I've just configured. And sometimes you'll work on something in Photoshop and put it back in Lightroom, and the same thing happens. And I've seen it happen just randomly. Usually everything's fine, and then you put it across, and it's a complete disaster and a big change. Just going to check up at the top of this image. Not at 200% though. Yeah, up here it doesn't seem to be too much of an issue. I thought there may well have been a jaggedy line along here, just bridging between the two colours. Seems fine, so save that. I think one of the big problems with the data from this day, apart from being distracted by talking to other photographers, one of whom may well be in chat at the minute, very off-putting, was that it was a pretty dark, cloudy night, and I was very close up to the poppies with a 50mm lens at a fairly wide open f-stop. It may well have been a 1.8 or 2 or something like that, and so the background was incredibly soft, and therefore I'm getting no detail to be able to play, no hard edges to play with, which is a bit of a pity. So I'm left with these very soft edges, and so that they are almost just it's just a frame of colour really, which I would have liked a bit more definition. maybe what did I just press there? Yeah, there's a bit more definition in these ones, which I think I'll have to work through. Yeah, something like that. There's more detail there you can work with, rather than the huge blobs of colour. Yeah, that's what these ones really turned into. I was that close. Even you know, getting so close in, they probably weren't in focus. Yeah, you weren't shooting yourself, so you were distracting because you were talking. It's like these ones, you know, very much blobs of colour. So I was kind of hoping for better results out of these. So there was a bit of definition, but not like detail. Because last year's image I felt was very detailed, which was a big change from my usual style, where it's, you know, it's almost brush strokes. It was almost like almost a proper multiple exposure shot. So I think I'm probably able to get something out of, say, this capture. I just need a lot more work. So I'm not too discouraged by what I've made today. I mean, this one's got a bit of detail in there, and to be honest, I could probably make an image just using this frame, or maybe it's that frame because there's a bit of detail in it. To just mix them two together without introducing too much of this other. It's this blur stuff in the background. I think that's probably been the issue. So I had a couple of tries in out of it tonight, which hasn't been too bad. Hopefully by next Tuesday I'll be out and shot some new subjects to get some more interesting data, or something different anyway. Like I say, I'm getting almost sick of looking at these things. I feel like I've hardly finished an edit, certainly all of this month. So I need to really crack on and get my head down and get through these images. I think the last one I was kind of happy with was the Dodo work, which is, well, nearly 2 months ago now. So I think we've been going just over an hour, so there's probably not much point in starting another one. The weather's too nice to be sat indoors anyway, so, and sunset's from what, still another good hour yet before sunset, so get your cameras out, get away outside, do some shooting tonight. With a bit of luck I might even get my own out. So just to repeat, if you would like to be in with a chance of, I'll just switch that back to main screen, you'll be in for a chance of winning that proof print of Dodo Stone Circle. Then do leave a comment below the video sometime in the next 24 hours, so that's before 7:30 on the 27th of June. Then you'll be entered into a random draw, as in I'll write your names down, stick them in a hat, pull them out. Whoever gets that, I'll send that print to you free of charge. So yeah, if you want to be in with a chance of that, do comment below the video. It's been lovely to have you along again today. I have no idea what David just said there. Thank you very much for watching again. You've been delightful again. If you've enjoyed this, please do like it, and if you haven't already, do subscribe. Again, do leave a comment below if you would like to win that print. If you would like to check out my Patreon page, do check that out. It's patreon.com/AndrewSGray. Any contributions you could spare on there would be greatly appreciated and will help me out no end to continue to produce content, not only video content but image content as well. So yeah, any help with that would be lovely. So I think that about does it. So until next week, which will be episode 11, so we've crossed that 10 episode hill. I'm sure we'll be flying after that. So until next week, unless England's playing football on the Tuesday or something, I've no idea what the schedule is for the next however long. So unless there's a big football match next Tuesday, we'll see you next Tuesday, 7:30, right here on YouTube. So until then, see ya.